Hi, I'm Melanie from Yoga Within. Welcome to the class this morning. Today we'll do a 45-minute Hatha Yoga class. And I think today we'll start lying down. If you're not comfortable lying down, you're more than welcome to sit up. But if you can lie down, make yourself comfortable. If you need something for under your head, a little blanket or a block can help. It would be good today if you have a strap or a scarf or a belt or something that you can use if you have it handy. And if you don't worry, you'll still be able to do the class. All right, so come down onto your back. If your back is bothering you, let your knees bend. And just take a moment to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And try to allow yourself to settle. Let the ground support you. And just let the breath move within you. Let the mind follow the gentle rhythm of the breath. Trying not to linger or hold on to any one thought. Breath by breath. Just trying to let go of your to-do list of expectations and just let yourself land in the present moment. Now slowly begin to bring your awareness back and start to introduce movement into your body, just wiggling your fingers and wiggling your toes. Start to rotate your wrists and rotate your ankles and move both directions. Try to let the movement be as large as you can without hurting yourself. Always remember, if you have any issues in your tissues, it's best to check with your doctors before you start into any kind of physical exercise practice. Make sure you're okay. And then if your legs are straight, bend the knees and let the knees just rock a bit from side to side, just exploring should your feet be a little bit farther apart or a little closer together. And where do you need that massage along your spine, into the low back and through the hips. Try to place your arms in a position that allows the upper back to start opening and moving. Keep your chin tipped a little bit down, just creating that natural length in the neck. As you let the movement slow to a stop, lift your feet off the floor, bring your hands around your shins. And again, you can either rock from side to side, or you can make some little circular movements. If you are doing the circles, try to go both directions. And then just pause that movement and make yourself as tiny as you can. So for some of you, you may want to bring your nose up towards your knees and even grab your feet. Try to remember that wherever you grab your feet has a relationship to how you use your shoulders. Your chin tips down and your breath is present. Take one more breath in and one more breath out, just giving yourself that nice internal massage. If your head's up, bring it down and place your feet back on the floor, keeping the knees bent. Extend your arms to point to the ceiling, and then clasp your elbows. Your feet are about hip width apart. And as you exhale, take your arms and your head to the right. An inhale will bring you back to the center, and an exhale over to the other side. And keep in mind, keep the movement going. I'm just reminding you to breathe. If your breath happens to be different to what I'm calling, that's no problem at all. The idea is that you're just breathing mindfully. When our mind is present within what we're doing, the risk of injury is much less. And if I keep you doing anything for too long, you have the ability to stop or continue on, depending on what you need. Try about 2 more in each direction. If you're finding it painful to turn your head, just simply stop the movement in your neck. But we're just trying to get the upper back moving and warmed up. And once you've finished, finish at the center. Release the elbows, point the fingers up to the ceiling, and then this time wrap your hands right around your shoulders. Tip your chin down towards your chest and either stay there, or as you exhale, lift the shoulders and the head off the floor, taking your drishti, your gaze, down towards the belly button. Good, keep breathing. And remember, if it's hurting your neck and shoulders, just simply keep the head and shoulders on the ground. And then lie your head back down, open the arms, and cross them the opposite way. Stay there, or as you exhale, just peel the torso and the head up off the floor, breathing. Try to imagine that you have a helium balloon between the knees, so the knees aren't flopping all over the place. Good, and then take the torso down. Extend the arms back to point, fingers point to the ceiling, and clasp your elbows the opposite way. Widen your stance, so move your feet approximately mat width apart, and don't be afraid to adjust through the low back and the hips. And now this time, the arms and the head go to the left, and the knees drop to the right. You bring everything back to the center, and you switch, moving the opposite direction. Again, if it's hurting the neck, don't turn the head, just keep it at the center. And you can let this movement be as fast or as slow as you want it to be today, just depending on how your body's feeling. Do you need dynamic movement, so a little faster, or do you need a little bit slower movement? Think about entering the twist on the exhalation, just kind of reminding yourself to exhale and squeeze the air out of the lower abdominals so you're not overarching that low back and moving it into a twisted back bend. And try a few more in each direction. Again, as the body warms, you may need to adjust your foundation, so your feet, maybe even the head, tipping it down a bit. And when you're finished, finish back at the center. Extend so the fingers point to the ceiling. Lift the feet off the floor. Point the foot soles to the ceiling and clasp at your ankles or the calves or the backs of the thighs. And move your feet as wide apart as you can. Try to bend through the elbows so you're opening the upper back. And any of you who do have that prop I suggested, a strap or a belt or a scarf, use it around the feet so you can get the feet a little bit wider apart. As you bend the elbows, you are trying to open that upper back and direct the breath into the low abdominals. And you can stay right here or tip the chin down and lift the head and shoulders off the floor. And again, as you're looking towards your navel, try to see the low back on the ground instead of turning it into a reverse curl. But then lower the head down, press the legs straight up into that V-like position, and then bend the knees. Draw the knees towards the armpits, towards the floor. Keep your foot soles facing the ceiling, so envision that you're balancing a book on the soles of the feet. And then press the legs straight up and press the backs of the thighs or the hamstrings towards the wall in front of you. And then again, bend the knees, bend the elbows, and straighten. Good. Slide the legs together. And if there is any back problem, bend the knees. Otherwise, lower the legs straight down. Good. Pause and release the strap or whatever you might be using. Good. Let the knees bend and drop both your knees over to the right. Find a position that feels comfortable because you will be over on this right side for a little bit. Take your head and look to the left. And then bring the left arm all the way up off the floor until the fingers point to the ceiling and you feel one shoulder stacked above the other. And then lower that left hand all the way down in front of you to the right. Bring the arm back up, fingers point to the ceiling. Reach up. Look at the left hand and then lower the left arm back behind you. Don't worry if it doesn't come to the floor. Pick it back up. Reach, try to stack knee on knee, shoulder above shoulder, and then back down to the floor in front of you. And one more time, reaching up, really stretch up and stretch it back. This time, take a breath in and a breath out. One more breath in and one more breath out. Bring that left arm back up, fingers are pointing to the ceiling. Reach up like you're trying to touch the ceiling, and then lower it down to the floor in front of you. Take those left fingertips and start moving them along the floor until the elbow comes by the ear and perhaps the fingertips are on the floor above the head. You can take your right hand and place it on that top left knee. If your neck mobility allows you to look up at those left fingertips, do that. And if you can rotate torso around the spine, bringing yourself over to the left twist, do that. Keep breathing. Hold here for a couple of breaths. It's the holding that allows you to create some change. And then bring that left arm all the way back overhead and down towards the knees. Repeat that a few more times. You're extending out. You're bringing the arm up overhead. Look up at the fingertips. And then rotate torso around the spine. Try not to let the movement come from the shoulder itself. It is a twist. Bring it all the way back. Arm comes in front of you. If you can repeat that one more time, do it one more time. For some of you, the torso might not move any farther than arm above head. If you're feeling strain or pain, you know you're forcing it, work with the breath. This is a great posture improving exercise, great to warm the spine, then bring the arm back down. Good, and then bring yourself onto your back. Bring your knees up into your chest, rock it out. Make yourself tiny, draw your shoulders out of your ears. Then lower the head and the torso down. Place the feet on the floor so the heels are below the knees and the knees are bent. Place your palms on the floor, just about halfway between hips and shoulders. Tip your chin down. This is not a back bend. You press and you lift straight up. You squeeze your glutes here. You're lightly drawing the shoulder blades together, but very light. So you're not in a back bend position. The spine has its natural curve, but squeeze your glutes. Unclench your toes, don't let your knees flop out to the side. And when you come down, don't go upper back, mid back, low back, go straight down. Pause and go straight back up. Lightly squeeze the shoulders together, just lightly. Squeeze the glutes, press the hips up, try to keep the ribs dropping. And use your palms, draw the palms towards the shoulders lightly towards the spine, and then straight down. Bring the knees up to the chest, just rock it out. Place the arms down and drop your knees to the left this time. Take your gaze over to the right hand. Good, and bring that right arm up. Reach up until you feel yourself right on your side, and then lower the right hand down to the left. If you did it, bring it back up, reach up, and then lower it back down to the right. If you did it 3 times on the other side, try for 3 times on this side. But you may find that it's a day where your body needs more repetitions on one side or less, and that's fine. Reach, get that movement of moving the upper back. Keep your breath. Extend up and become aware of the actual movement of your neck itself. When you finish with your fingertips on the floor, and then start to move that arm around the head. Take your gaze up to your fingertips as long as you can, and move that arm back behind you. But remember, the movement originates in the low back, all the way to the upper back. So you're not starting the movement in the shoulders. And then reverse it, come back. If you did it 3 times, try for 3. But if you know your body could use 4 times on this side, then give yourself that permission. Try to let go to attachments that you might have about the amount you do or what it should look like. And try your best to work this from the inside out. And when you feel you've done enough to this side, finish on the left side, roll onto the back, readjust the foundation so it's whatever's on the ground, and then lift your feet off the floor and either move into that tiny ball, or again, if you prefer something like Happy Baby, then go into Happy Baby. Happy Baby, you can allow some rocking as well. Keep in mind that the neck should not be straining and your breath should not be strained. Try not to force it, just have awareness to it. And then you may find that you want to do a few spinal rocks to bring yourself back to a seated position. Or it may be a day where you just know the spinal rocks are not good for you, and you can roll over to the side to come up to a seated position. Once you get up to a seated position, open your arms nice and wide, wrap your arms around your shoulders, give yourself a big hug, move the shoulders forward and back, big circles, little circles, and then open and cross the other way. And again, forward and back, circles, and then open the arms, place the right hand down, bend to the right, look up to the left hand if it doesn't hurt the neck. And if this is hurting, look straight ahead and place the hand on the hip or in the low back. Remember, what you do is for your benefit alone. Bring yourself back up and over to the other side. And just having that awareness to, yes, I find myself holding my breath, or I find my mind distracted. And just bring yourself back to the here and now, to this moment. Coming back up, try one more in each direction. You know, if we do things the same way each time, we get the same results. So although you know that I can have my arm up, perhaps you would like the arm in the low back just to see what would the difference be. Where do I get the greatest challenge? And last time, over to the other side. Remember, a yoga practice is your time of discovery. Getting to know yourself, introduce yourself to you on any given day. And back up, pause, reach through the fingers, smile, have your chin parallel to the floor. Keeping the arms open or hands to hips, twist to the right. And just have that awareness. Are you twisting by swinging your arms? Or is the twist a little bit more limited because you're twisting torso around spine? Look back at that arm if you can. Come across the center and then look over to the left. Back to the center as you bring torso to center and then twist the other way. Keep your breathing. Look back to the left arm, look over to the right arm, look to the center, move to the center, bring the arms up. If this is high enough, stay there. But if you can soften the shoulders and keep lifting the arms until perhaps the thumbs touch, do that. Spread your fingers, soften your shoulders and your ribs, and look up to the thumbnails and envision a beautifully smooth neck. No compression. Good. Look straight ahead. Lower the arms to shoulder height, palms face forward, and move into a forward fold. Move the shoulders apart, not together. Get that movement happening in the upper back. Coming back up to a straight spine, lift those arms to what benefits you. When the arms are up to where it feels right, soften the shoulders and look up to the thumbs. Create as much space in your neck as you can. That is your challenge, to create that space, not the compression. Good. Lower the arms, look straight ahead. Reach through the fingers, bring the arms forward, lower the fingertips, and just walk into a forward fold. What do you need this forward fold to be? Bring yourself up, roll those shoulders out, bring the knees up, stretch the legs out, bounce into your knees, rock it out, and really rock it out. Good, swing the legs behind you, come up onto your hands and knees. Once you're in this tabletop position, put some padding under your knees if you like, and take a moment just to walk your hands around in all different shapes. Notice if your 10 toes are rooted onto the ground, and if you need to tuck them, then that's what you should do. Now go onto your fists and walk those fists all around. Go onto the side fist, go onto the top of the hand, go right up onto the knuckles, go down onto the hand. Go onto the sides of the hand, walk around. How does it feel? You turn them in a bit, walk into the thumbs, and come back. Move your hands as far apart as you need them to be. Tuck your 10 toes under and lift your knees up off the floor. Try to have your knees directly below your hips. Try not to hang those heads. I'm watching you. Good, breathe here, breathe. Your mind might say you need to come down, but do you? I don't think so. I think you can hold. Good, knees go down, tops of the feet to the floor, bottom back to heels. Don't hang those heads. Good, lift your hands up off the floor. Just keep the heels of the hands down. Open and close the hands. Place the palms flat. Bring the knees under the hips. Tuck the toes and lift the knees. Squeeze your inner upper thighs. Good, breathe. Now send the hips not up, but back. Oh, drop those hips down. Keep breathing. Hips above knees. Hover, hover. Come on, you can do it. Don't lift those hips up. Send them back. Knees are still off the floor. Good, come back. Hips above knees. Knees down. This time, tops of the feet on the floor. Big toes touch. Bottom, move back to heels. And if this isn't good, do what you did last time. Lift the fingers off the floor. Keep the heels of the hands on the floor. Open and close the hands. Good. Palms down, bottom lifts, knees below hips, 10 toes tuck. Knees lift. Hips back, hips up and back, downward dog. Your option is child's pose if that's what you prefer. Walk it out. Good, breathing. If you don't like this in downward dog, you can by all means go onto your hands and knees and do a variation there. Lift the heels, bend the knees slightly. Lift the right foot off the floor. Bring the right knee towards the right elbow. Go back, foot down, knee slightly bent, hips up and back. Left foot comes up, knee slightly bent. Bring that left knee towards the left elbow. Send it back, knees are slightly bent, foot comes down, hips up and back. You can repeat that a few more times, or some of you may want to lift the right foot off the floor, bring the knee towards the elbow, stretch the leg back, bring the knee towards the elbow, bend the left knee, go back, downward dog. Other side, foot up, knee towards elbow, leg goes back, knee towards elbow, back, downward dog. Try at least one more on each side. Do more if that feels good for you. Remember, you don't have to take the leg back in between. Do the variation that works best for you. It gives you the most strength and the most flexibility. Don't hang those heads, I'm watching you. Walk it out. Bring the knees down, and you choose the child's pose that's best for you. Knees wide or knees and feet parallel. If you feel dizzy at all, don't drop that head down. You can always stack your fists, rest your head on your fists. Good. Bring yourself back up onto tabletop. Tuck your 10 toes under, walk your hands back towards your knees and lift your knees. Now, if you know a squat is not working in your body today, stand up however you like. Otherwise, lift the hands off the floor, bring yourself to a nice straight spine, and bring yourself all the way up onto your toes and walk up to the front of your mat. Lower the heels down and just let the arms drop. Move yourself gently from the toes to the heels. Good, let the movement stop and then step out wide on your mat. So currently my feet, the outside edges of my feet are parallel. Just take your feet and turn them out and turn the heels in. So goddess position, then bend the knees. Knee above heel on each side and rock a bit from side to side. Your spine is nice and tall, nice and straight. Good, pause. Open the arms, just like you had them shoulder height. Lift one heel up, lower it down. Lift the other heel up, lower it down. Wrap your arms around your shoulders, give yourself a big hug. Feel the movement in your shoulders. You can lift the elbows, lower them, and then open the arms. One heel lifts, the other heel lifts. Maybe both heels lift. Breathing, keep that spine tall, keep the natural curve of your spine, don't stick those bottoms out. Good, lower the heels down, cross your arms the opposite way. Move those shoulders. Good, little bit of movement. Open the arms. Both heels lift. Breathe here, smile. Good, both heels lower. Hands to the thighs. 10 toes, point straight ahead. Knees bent, elbows to thighs. Go back and forth from toes to heels. This is enough. Stay right here. You can even do this with your elbows on your thighs. Otherwise, place your palms on your thighs with your fingers facing in and dip your left shoulder towards your right knee. Keep your knees pointing straight ahead. Come back to the center and right shoulder to left knee. Back to the center. Once more on each side. Drop those glutes. Don't have them up in the air. Once more, breathing. Get back to the center. Elbows to thighs. Stay there. Or drop the arms. Fingertips are on the floor. Walk the fingertips forward and farther apart than your shoulders. Send the hips up and back as you begin to straighten the legs. Drop your head so it hangs between your arms if you're not dizzy. And then lift your hands off the floor. If your back hurts, put your palms on your thighs to come up. Otherwise, come up with the ears between the arms. Lower the arms down. Good, left arm up, bending to the right. Squeeze your inner upper thighs. Try not to hang your heads. All the way up, arm down. Other arm up. Breathe in, left side bend. Breathe out, unlock your legs. Keep that head up. You want to build neck strength. Breathing all the way up. Lower the arm. Repeat the same thing or bring both arms up. Remember, the action of lifting the arms comes from lifting the arches of the feet. Bending over, breathing as though you're holding a block between your arms. All the way up, shoulders drop. To the other side. Keep breathing. All the way up, bend the knees, send the hips back, ears between the arms, or place the palms on the thighs. Then if you can send the hips up and back to where the wall and the ceiling meet and keep the ears between the arms, do that. Bend the knees, take the torso parallel to the floor, and then straight up or palms to thighs. Lower the arms down, step back to the front of the mat, and go back and forth from the toes to the heels. Good. Place the hands on the hips. Now here, we'll bring our arms behind our back into this Gomukhasana position. So this is where you may find, if you need a strap or a scarf or something, grab it now. And if you don't have it, that's fine. The strap will go in your right hand. You'll keep your left foot where it is and step your right leg back. Toes are tucked, heels off the floor. Leg is straight. If you need to do a variation with the knee down, that's more than fine. Have your hips pointing straight ahead. Bring that right arm up, bend the elbow, drop the strap. Left arm comes forward, moves around, and you grab the strap. If you are able to hold your hands, that's perfect. Just hold your hands then. You can feel in your back if you've got the natural curve of your spine or if you're hanging out in a back bend position. Keep breathing. Press down into the front foot. If you are able to bend forward, drawing that left hip back and not hanging your head, do that. Keep breathing. Pick those left toes up. Good. Bring the torso back up. Now bend the right knee. Keep breathing. Begin to straighten the left leg and the right leg. Step forward with the feet about hip width apart. Bend the knees. Send the hips back. If this chair position is enough, stay here. Adjust your feet if you need to. If you can take your ribs to your thighs, do that. Don't hang those heads. And if you can begin to lift into a forward fold, do that. Some of you may find that you can walk your hands closer together now. Keep breathing. Big toe mound, little toe mound, center of the heel on each foot is rooted. Bend the knees, torso parallel to the floor. Bring yourself all the way up to standing. Release the arms. Give yourself a big hug, just like you did earlier. Open the arms, cross them the opposite way. Keep breathing. Good, then switch the strap, place it in the left hand, keep the right foot where it is, and step the left leg back. Toes are tucked, right knee above right heel. Left arm comes up, elbow bends, drop the strap back. Make sure this right hip's moving back. Good, right arm comes up, bring the hand behind the back. Don't be afraid to adjust that right foot if you need to. Don't shy away from movement. Good, staying here with this right hand in the low back, you should get a sense of if you're overarching into a back bend. Within the left arm, you should notice if you've got the natural curve of your neck or if you're thrusting your chin, which I'm sure some of you are. Keep breathing, lots of balance, lots of strength. Press down into that front foot, lean if you can, but keep that right foot drawing back. Keep your breath present. Good, bring yourself back up. Keep breathing, right hip back, left thigh forward, bend the left knee. Unclench your right toes, keep your breath. Bend that knee, breathing. Good, both legs begin to straighten. Step forward, feet about hip width apart, but farther if your back or hamstrings bother you. Coming into the chair position, sending the hips back, coming into the half fold chair position, and then coming into that full fold if you can. Keep breathing, keep breathing. Be aware of the movement of your neck. Are the shoulders even? Is the breath present? Knees bent, torso parallel to the floor, coming all the way up. And release, give yourself a big hug. And switch. And release. Let the strap or whatever you're using for your prop just fall to the ground. And go back and forth from your toes to your heels. Good. Root the feet. Arms up or hands to hips. Keep breathing. Take your right hand and grab your left wrist. Your left palm will be facing the floor. And bend to the right. Use your breathing. Bring yourself all the way back up, soften the shoulders, and switch. Left grabs right. The palm, as you bend to the left, the right palm faces the floor. Try not to turn it into a twist. Try not to hang your head down. Good, come all the way up. Release the wrist. Lower the arm shoulder height. Knees bend, hips back, breathing. Send those hips way back, pick those 10 toes up. Fold all the way forward if you can. Good, pause here, breathing, and then step back, to downward dog. If downward dog isn't good for you today, then you know you can go onto your hands and knees to tabletop and then to child's pose. Walk it out. And breathing, bring the knees to the ground. Tuck the 10 toes under and come all the way up onto the knees. Roll the shoulders back. If you have the strap or the scarf or whatever you were using, pick it up. Bring it into your hands behind your back. Turn your palms so they face up. Good. And then clasp the strap or the prop. Squeeze your shoulder blades together without thrusting the hips forward. Just squeeze the shoulder blades, squeeze the inner upper thighs. Have the hands at least shoulder width apart. Move your arms up if you can. Now lift your thighs, press your hips forward. Lift your chest, lift your arms. Now squeeze your shoulder blades as you move into camel pose. Either look straight ahead, or as you squeeze the shoulder blades, lift your gaze to the ceiling. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Your legs bring you up to a straight spine. Tops of the feet go to the floor. Bottom begins to press back to heels. Now you may find that you need a prop on the calves, a block or a blanket. Drop the bottom all the way back to the heels if you can, and stay here. Or there may be some of you who can bring your head to the floor, or you can put a block under your forehead. Arms go way up, way up. Now use the strength of your legs to bring you all the way back up onto your knees. Tuck your 10 toes under. Squeeze your inner thighs. Thighs move forward, rise up out of the low back. Squeeze your shoulder blades, breathe. Good, bring yourself all the way up. Tops of the feet to the floor. Bottom moves back to heels, coming all the way forward, or rest your head on a block. Especially if you feel dizzy at all. Bring yourself all the way back up on your knees. Release the strap down. Roll your shoulders out. Come onto your hands and knees to tabletop. Either go back to child's pose or tuck the toes and walk it out in downward dog. And then bring your feet forward between your hands, folding and coming all the way up. Folding all the way forward. Place the hands on the floor beside the feet. Step back again to downward dog, walk it out. Knees to the floor. Toes remain tucked. Walk the hands back to the knees. Lift the knees. Now again, if you know that the squat's not good for you, sit down however you like. Pick the hands up. Walk yourself forward. And then come down, toes, heels, bottom. And then you can curl down, or again, you may want to do some spinal rocks to come down. Once you're all the way down, just let the movement stop. Place the feet on the floor and let the knees rock a bit from side to side. Then lift the feet off the floor. Happy baby if that feels good for you. Rocking it out. Pause and happy baby. Make sure you've got that natural curve of your spine, which includes your neck, so chin's tip down a bit. Release the feet, place the feet on the floor. Extend your right leg out along the mat, draw the left thigh into the chest. Right hand comes up to left knee, and you're twisting to the right. Your head can look to the left, or it can stay center, or it can look to the right. Keep your breath. Now you may find you need that right leg perfectly straight and fully flexed, or you may find that you need it bent a bit. And the only way you know for sure is by exploring what gives you the greatest release in your body today. Feel free to use props under the knee if you need them. Take one more breath in and one more breath out. Don't shy away from staying in the postures a bit longer and holding. Come back to the center. Just squeeze that left thigh into the chest. Take the foot to the floor. Bring the right thigh to the chest. Extend the left leg out along the mat. Bring the left hand to the right knee. Place the right hand down. And twist to the left. Breathing. And again, where is it best to have your head? You may even find that this back arm might need to go a little higher with the elbow bent. Perhaps that gives you more of an opening through the armpits into the chest. It's getting to know, what do I need today? Take one more breath in and one more breath out. And bring yourself back to the center. Pause, snug that thigh into the chest. And bring both knees up, rock it out. Place the palms on the floor just under the low back and extend the legs up. And if your back bothers you, put the left foot on the floor and do a couple of leg lifts, single leg lifts. Otherwise, lower both legs down. Drop the chin to the chest, lift them back up. Make sure you're not lifting and lowering your legs with the neck and with the low back. Keep your breath present. Keep your mind within your breath. And when we're aware of what we're doing, the risk of injury is so much smaller. And the next time the legs are on the floor, let the movement stop. Bend the knees, and just let the knees rock a little bit from side to side. Bring your thighs up into your chest. Make yourself as tiny as you can. Lower yourself down and place your feet on the floor. Stretch your legs out along the mat unless your back's bothering you. Take a really deep breath in. Tighten your body as fully and tightly as you can. Squeeze your glutes. And exhale loudly. Do that again. Press through the heels. Squeeze the glutes, belly to spine, spine to ground. Connecting right at the core and let go. Now give yourself a moment if there's any last movement you need to prepare yourself for Shavasana. Take a moment for those. I really encourage you, stay in Shavasana for 5 minutes if you can. Treat yourself to some loving kindness, and when you're kind to yourself, you really can extend that kindness out into the world and everyone around you so much easier. Let the body soften. Let the mind ride the waves of the breath. I inhale peace. I exhale to release. I see that beautiful white light of peace around me and within me. I allow my mind to soften and rest within that light. I am so grateful to myself and to my body. I let go. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your practice with me today. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste. Don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube channel and support us all, and we'll see you next time.